Hi there and welcome to Hattersley, your online news show. Each month we'll be looking at the issues that affect you and where you live, and you can contribute by telling us what you'd like to see by visiting our website. On this show we're going to be looking at two stories: the fantastic new Kenmore Sports Centre and the not so fantastic problem with parking. So I've come here to find out more. And now I'm going to be talking to Alison, who is the duty manager here at the Kenmore Centre. So Alison, can you tell me a bit more about the facilities?
At one time on the estate we operated as Sport in the Community, and Sport in the Community and Active Hattersley were responsible for securing funding for this big new Kenmore Sports Centre. We are a collection of Mottram and Hattersley Boxing Club, Hattersley Football Club and various other community groups who've all come together and kind of relocated here at the Kenmore Sports Centre.
Who is this centre named after?
It's named after a local person, Ken Ward. Unfortunately, Ken Ward has since passed away. His family still live on the estate and still use the facility.
Could you tell me about the centre and what it was like when it first opened?
The centre opened about 4 months ago, and since then we've kind of transferred over. Mottram and Hattersley Boxing Club, and you can see their ring gear, etc., have transferred over, and this is their new home now. And most of the gym users that came to the gym when we were located underneath the community centre have also moved across and are now using the gym and facilities here too.
What facilities do you have here?
We've got a fitness suite, a weights room. This is the boxing area that we're situated in at the moment. We have a full-size sports hall. We have a dance studio, so we're able to use that area for, at the moment, we have street dance going on there. And we also have grass pitches and astro pitches outside.
Is the centre just used for sporting activities?
It is used for other things. We're very fortunate in that we have a conferencing suite downstairs, and the conferencing suite can be used for meetings of any description. We have a hairdresser's and a barber's shop within the complex, and at the moment we have a function on in the sports hall which is a training function for a local company.
British Gas has one of our call centres is literally just up the road. It's a 3-minute walk from the Kenmore Centre, and we're running a series of events for about 500 of our staff. And we've decided to go with the Kenmore instead of a traditional conference centre. One of the first reasons was because it's so close to our call centre. It means that we can get down here very, very easily without having to arrange transport to somewhere else in Manchester. But at British Gas we actively want to support local communities. So as the Kenward's sort of a fairly new business in the area, and British Gas is one of the big employers in the area, we wanted to link in and hopefully work together, and that's what we've done, and it's been great.
How did you find your time here at Kenmore Centre?
It's been amazing, really. The Alison and Andrea, the guys who have helped us book in, have been really, really accommodating. They've helped us with all of our needs. Our events have gone really, really well. I'm really pleased.
And would you use these facilities again?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, we want to encourage our people to use the gym facilities here because it's so close. But as sort of for future conferences, we don't do them that much. But in the future, if we have another event that will fit the sort of the size of the hall, then we'd be really happy to use the Kenmore again.
How was the old gym set up?
The old gym was set up to support Mottram and Hattersley Boxing Club. So Mottram and Hattersley Boxing Club were in place, and then the gym kind of evolved around that. With the aid of volunteers, Mottram and Hattersley Boxing Club is fully run by volunteers. And what's happened then is, the more they've volunteered, the volunteers have gone on training and development courses, and then when we've got this new centre, they've been able to apply for jobs here. And I think at the moment, 4 of our volunteers are actually employed now because of the volunteering role that they did and the training and development they did within Sport in the Community.
I got on as a volunteer at first. I did about 10-month volunteering at first, and then gradually I got my job, and then that's led to this job as well. The old gym, it was old school. It was all heavyweights, big bodybuilders. This one's a lot cleaner. There's a lot more fitness machines. Yeah, it's a lot more friendly. It's local, so it's not very far to travel. It's cheap as chips, and they've got 2 good hairdressers here. It's a nice, tidy building. I think it's just what the estate needs. Just wish I would have had it when I was growing up.
Everything here is brand new. Came into the building when it was first opened up in June. I would describe the old gym as a bit more old school type of gym. The difference here is you're actually offering more facilities and more option for people to do. And I think also one thing that sort of didn't help with the old gym was the fact it was an underground car park. So there's no daylight, and these facilities are far more bright and let's say more welcoming to look at. We have boxercise classes, legs, bums and tums, ab classes, fit kids, also body conditioning, different types of body conditioning classes as well. Anybody who wants to use the fitness suite or the gym, what they have to do is just come along, basically get booked in for an induction, get shown how the equipment works. If people want programs or routines set out for them, we quite simply will do that for them and work along with them, helping them with their achieving their goals and stuff. But also it's quite simply people want to come along with experienced in gyms and stuff who want to just come and get along with what they're doing, then they're able to do that as well. There's basically two membership options, one which is £18 a month and one which is £22 a month. The basic one of 18 gives you access basically to the facilities in the fitness suite and the gym. The £22 a month also offers access to the health spa, which includes the sauna and steam room. There has been a dramatic increase in the amount of people that actually use the facility, and I'd say we're getting a lot more people actually now from surrounding areas coming in to use it as well.
Inside the centre, the tradition of dedicating facilities to local people who have passed away continues. The sports hall is named after Jim Royle, who was a central figure in football in Hattersley. The boxing hall is named after founder member and former coach of Mottram and Hattersley Boxing Club, Rick Skeller. And the conference suite is named after former councillor Margaret Oldham. So, it's been a worthwhile investment in Hattersley, and if you want to join, then come and speak to some of the instructors here. There's obviously plenty of parking space here, but that's not the case for the other areas of the estate. We've gone to find out more.
Thanks, Sherelle. As you saw in the film, there's no problem parking at the new sports centre. It's purpose-built and there's plenty of room. But Hattersley was built over 40 years ago in the 60s, when there wasn't that much cars on the road and parking wasn't a problem.
We spoke to some Hattersley residents about the problems with parking on the estate.
I think it's very bad actually. Lots and lots of traffic. No parking spaces, no car parks, and especially near the doctors, it's very bad.
The buses, they can't get past because there's cars on both sides and they're struggling to get past, and no cars on the right side of the roads.
It's terrible, especially on Hattersley Road, you know, with the buses. Absolutely terrible.
It's, in some places it's terrible. There's double parts and you can hardly get through, and if you're going up one way you just can't get through, so I think it's shocking.
How do you think we could seriously improve this?
Certainly one side of the road could do with the grass verge just being, used for parking. The road needs to be wider. Obviously when the houses were built people didn't have cars, it's wide enough for two cars. We've got people parking down one side. It's definitely a safety issue if you've got children playing, because people just use it as a main road and come through 30-40 mile an hour. You can't let your kids out because they'll just get run over.
Just lay-bys in and parking, the buses can get up and down here then, can't they, easily? And it's more parking spaces.
Well, I think you should put your double yellow lines on so you can get more room on the road.
Well, just that some of the roads are pretty narrow and it's hard enough for the buses to get past, never mind anybody else that's driving. That's all. It's just, because there's nowhere to park for people off-road on their drives. That's all, because they've got no drives to park on. They have to park on the road, which makes things worse for everybody.
Well, they've got car parks at the back of the houses, why don't they use them?
But we've had some people saying they wouldn't park on the car park because they don't feel like it's safe.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Well,
you could put cameras on the car park or have more police around the estate.
If you put lights up at that, I suppose it'd be alright. Save a lot of bother on the roads, wouldn't it?
How do you find it when you try and park up somewhere on here?
Well, I've got to park right up the road.
If a car park was available near you, would you use it?
Definitely, yes.
If it was secure, yeah.
This time of night, there's too many cars. You know what I mean? You can't really park on the main road, as that's packed as well.
Someone needs doing seriously.
And it's got to be looked at.
What's the solution though?
Sheila Parry has been a resident of Hattersley for 40 years. She explained what the traffic was like when she moved here and some of the problems she has now.
There weren't many cars about. There was just a few houses, and you just saw the odd car here and there, you know, outside the houses. It wasn't as bad as it is now, especially along here, along Underwood Road. And one time the bus put me off, couldn't get near the edgings, put me off in the middle of the road. And there was a car coming up, and I was that frightened of the car. I tried to get to the edgings, and there was just a little gap between the two cars, and I ended up falling. And I couldn't get up, nothing for me to get hold of to get up. And a couple got out of a car and picked me up, and I ended up in a terrible mess.
Peak Valley Housing Association are leading on the physical regeneration of Hattersley. We discussed the car parking issues with them.
We've been talking to residents about various problems with parking on the estate. Do Peak Valley think there are any issues with parking in the area?
Yes, we are very aware of the fact that there are parking issues. We also are aware that people are not very keen on using some of the car parks because they're a bit isolated, security's poor on them. If we were to tackle every parking area on the estate, which would mean rebuilding some of the high retaining walls, resurfacing, providing lighting, it would be an extremely expensive operation. Then you've got the ongoing revenue costs.
Do you intend to build any more garages on the estate?
I mean, if we do identify a demand and the funding can be found, I'm sure there's no reason why we can't build some more garages.
Today I'm interviewing Phil Corris, who's Managing Director of Peak Valley Housing. Do you think there's a chance for funding for parking on the estate with the economic climate?
Yes, there's, when the developer bid for the land in Hattersley, there was a requirement to actually price what was called a mandatory cost schedule of public realm works, and they priced, Barrett's and Artisan priced that work at £5 million. So over the course of their development they will be carrying out extensive environmental works which will include parking.
The roads in some of the areas on the estate are very narrow, making it difficult for children to cross and cars to pass by. Is there any possibility of building parking bays on the grass verges?
The parking on grass verges is an issue that we've talked at length to our developer partner. Problem with the grass verges is that there are a number of services that run through the verges, and they would have to be diverted at some significant cost. So it's, at the moment, it's not something that we have any intention to actually carry out. The other thing to bear in mind is that although the streets are quite narrow, people still park on the streets, and that does have a tendency to slow down traffic. If you were to take out that on-street car parking and put the car parking in the verges and widen the roads, then that would actually encourage the acceleration of traffic through the estate, we think.
Residents said they'd like to see some of the car parks improved, made them more secure and well lit up. Have you got any improvements planned?
We haven't got specific improvements planned, but the existing parking courts are a real problem, particularly the area around Melandra Crescent. Just is look at ways to improve the environment around those parking areas, improve security.
How do you think the number of new build housing will affect parking?
Well, it will probably increase the problem, although the planning requirement is for 2 parking spaces per dwelling. Well, we have funding in our business plan, in the Peak Valley business plan, to carry out extensive environmental improvements, but we want to do that in tandem with the improvements that the residential developer partner base have a requirement to deliver.
One area residents have identified as a trouble spot for parking is outside the doctors. Is there anything we can do to rectify that?
Outside the doctors and just up from there used to be a turning head for I think it was the 201 bus. And what I'll look into is getting those WL lines lifted, and hopefully that would ease the congestion on Hattersley Road East.
So whilst the parking issues can't be resolved overnight, people on Hattersley are thinking about ways to improve the parking problems and solutions in the future. Well, that's it from this edition of On Hattersley. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope you'll join us next time when we'll be looking at the train station and services provided by the Sure Start, childminders and after-school clubs.
So get involved. Give us your feedback by logging onto the address shown below,
And contact us if you've got a story you'd like us to cover or if you want to help take part in the next show. See you then.